Wassalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Level Every Class, the World of Warcraft series, specifically the War Within expansion, leveling in the Chromie timeline, specifically, in this case, Cataclysm, featuring our heroine femme fatale Vlera, Blood Elf Paladin. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the episode 2. We have made it to the outskirts, just on the outskirts of Silvermoon City, the major capital of the Blood Elves themselves. We do have some questing to get done. However, we have the questing on the outskirts, on the north end, traversing to the southwest, and then connecting to the east. So I think we're going to go ahead and take care of what we can here on Feth's Way, and then kind of work, again, like I always do, work my way, go to the furthest, work our way out, and then come back, or excuse me, go out, go to the furthest point, work our way back in. Best way I can describe it. All learning Paladin, or relearning Paladin. There is something sincerity, oh my goodness, wrong terminology. There is something incredibly iconic about Paladin in World of Warcraft, more so than even Final Fantasy, and let me explain. Coming from Final Fantasy 11 back in the day, and then traversing into World of Warcraft, or venturing a little bit into WoW, there's just something iconic about the class, and more specifically when you get into the nitgrit, when you start getting into dungeons, when you start getting into raids, there's something iconic about it, and I can't describe it fully unless, oh, there we go, level 7, and I don't, Words of Glory? Yes, Words of Glory, okay. I almost completely forgot what that ability even was. It's been so long, y'all. There's just something iconic about it. When we, how do I say this? When you look at Paladin, when you have the image of what Paladin is or what it's supposed to be, everyone in MMOs, in my humble opinion, we think of tier 2. That tier set alone, I think it's called Judgment, if I'm not mistaken. It's just, how do you beat that? How do you beat that? Honestly, that might be an interesting video series. My personal opinion on the top best looking tier sets in WoW. Go from like set, but group them, like do sets 1 to 3 and then 3 to 6, or however. That would be, make for an interesting topic. Completely biased in some ways, but God, I love the twirl. I love the spin that Blood Elves do, seriously. If Night Elves have the flip, Blood Elves have the twirl, and I think the twirl is just a little bit more classy. But I sincerely appreciate everybody here for joining and supporting the series. The support for the channel has been insane. I didn't expect that, honestly. I think WoW is in a renaissance period right now, and you can just jump in and get so much. There's so much to love about Azeroth and everything. It's just insane. Like, how much you can do in this game right now is truly ridiculous. It's so open to what do you want to do, how do you want to do it, and go from there.
I don't have a target.
Going back to what I was saying before, though, Paladins, when you have a vision of them, you see tier 2. You see tier 2, and you're just like, yeah, that's how are you doing that? I mean, tier 1 set kind of looks a little too. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I need to see it now versus how I saw it back then. I think the nickname was, correct me if I'm wrong, Paladin Mains, but I think it was called the Banana Suit. Because it was just so much, like so much gold and everything. But like tier 2 was just like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, I mean, come on, Judgment. I'm sure on everybody's tier list of best looking tier sets, you're gonna put Judgment probably on tier. You're gonna put it on S tier. I don't see why you wouldn't. Even I probably would, to be quite honest with you. And racial wise, I mean, come on, Blood Elves. The moment Blood Elves came into existence, the preference between Night Elves and humans just completely shifted course. I think there was an absurd amount of new Horde players, at least back then, I'm sure. And I mean, come on, you can't deny the the bazaars, the theme, the theme that Blood Elves provide. But yeah, also what was really cool is the Godfather of Paladins in Azeroth, in my opinion, the respectfully speaking, the king himself, the king of kings, brother Boklahoma, commented on episode 1. How did he even find this channel, to be quite honest? I'm honestly amazed. Disclaimer here, big fan of Brother Oklahoma. I think his content is incredible. I try to diversify and watch a lot of WoW creators in this space. 1, to learn from, 2, to kind of get my bearings a little bit, and 3, I think every one of us on YouTube has a profound story of who inspired us to start creating creating content and everything. And back in the day, if you were to ask a younger me, 16, 17, maybe even, honestly, probably even like 13, 14, when I first started, way back in the day, again, this is back when YouTube had like 5-star ratings and stuff. Twitch was called Justin.tv. Hell, Twitch wasn't even around. It was Justin.tv, and that wasn't even around just yet. But yeah, like Chugga Conroy, Sunkissed Journey, Atmos, Proton John, I mean, name it. Name a Let's Player from back then. I probably remember them. Ironically, some of them I probably even met. That's how crazy. It's crazy. Oh, this might be bad. This might be bad. No, I think we got it. I think we got it. These guys aren't doing too... Yeah, we got it. All right. So I keep doing that. I keep clicking when I'm not supposed to. Just an axe. Ooh, pretty green axe too. I'm never going to use an axe, but hey, not on a paladin. On a warrior, sure. On a paladin, no, it just doesn't make much sense. But yeah, Brother Boklahoma, I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much for that comment. Thank y'all again. I really cannot appreciate. I can't put into words what it feels like right now. Like, just to have even people watching this channel is incredible to me. Constructive criticism and feedback is always appreciated. There are things I can improve on. There's a lot of things I can improve and learn on. So please, teach me the ways of Azeroth, because all opinions are held respectively, and I'm always itching to improve. I have a feeling that's going to come, especially when we start dungeoneering on this character, because that's when the real test is going to start, especially for me. Lord knows it's the first time I'm taking in 14 years, 15 years, at least. So it's been a while. But yeah, some creators I tend to watch in terms of World of Warcraft. Brother Oklahoma was the first one that I watched. I think it was his video. I can't remember which one, but one of them that really caught my attention was the difference between classic community and retail, because I was in the classic community playing Classic Annie at the time, and that one caught my attention. I'm been a huge fan of him since. His humor is amazing, by the way. He's like the epitome of what an American truly is, in my humble opinion. It's so weird to say that, but I think he's the epitome of what a Southern American truly is. That's the best way I can describe it. I just think he's a humble guy. He really is. You can tell he's humble and he truly cares about improvements of everybody. But there was Brother Oklahoma, who was definitely a service of inspiration. There was Azeroth Dan, another very good one. Gutter Speak, I think his name is. That's another one. Jess Plays. Then there, Lady Survival. That definitely is another one. And then your typical usual ones, the bigger, the big channels and such, especially for like updates on the game and whatnot. But fun fact, I watch all videos beginning to end. I don't like to skip. So if I'm watching a different creator, out of respect, I try to watch their video all the way. I don't like to do the skipping in between and everything, because I believe there's a lot to be said in terms of conversation. Again, I don't know what it is with us and cutting heads off and then bringing him in. It's a little grim, but I guess that's just the way it is here in Azeroth. Can we just not like collect their boots or something? Collect the boots here. Here's the boots. Cutting off the guy's head. That's crazy. But yes, there's a lot. My point here is that there's a lot of World of Warcraft creators out there in this space that I pay attention to and I watch, and I really do my best to support. Like I said, I'll watch any one of the videos from beginning to end. Doesn't matter if it's just like a let's play or them just talking and whatnot, because there's a lot of information to process, and there's a lot that I can personally learn and implement into how I level characters. For instance, another creator I watch is Robert Rambles, who I think is credited as the godfather of the whole let's level a character series. I'll watch every single one of them because there's something I can take from his gameplay that I can implement in my way, in my own technique, but utilize it my own way, if that makes sense. There's just something about the WoW creator space that is incredible. There's so many of y'all and now I think more than ever, everybody's starting to really kind of support each other. And I wish we had that in Final Fantasy. I wish back then we had that, because we really didn't have a lot of creators in Final Fantasy 11 space back in the day in Vana'diel. We didn't have that. I was one of them, and there was a few others, but like we didn't really like collaborate or anything else like that. So that's something that WoW has a profound strength and dominance on, and it's beautiful to see. So in other words, please support other WoW creators as well. Please do, because there's so many different styles and so many different techniques and so many different ways creators implement their contents and push it out there. And we can all learn from each other, cultures and between different cultures and communities, even though we're all in the same community, realistically speaking. There's just so much you can take away from somebody and learn. And that's the beauty of life. That's truly is the real beauty of life, is getting to learn from everybody. Look at this site. Speaking of which, Brother Oklahoma, this video is going to come at some point when I've scripted it out a little bit more and be a little bit more professional about it, because I can't joke as well as you. There's just no way I can do it. But come on, you see this view? Do you see this view? Do you see this area? Pig pens and S-holes, right? Pig pens, really? Oh, wait till we get to Undercity, dude. I'm gonna drop to my knees when I see Brill. I'm gonna be like, oh, the motherland. Finally, I'm home, dude. Undercity is calling me so bad right now. Oh, I can't wait. We don't know how to build structures and architecture on the Horde. We don't know what true architecture is. I don't know. So who lost Hillsbrad? Who won the Battle of Hillsbrad? I'm just saying. And by the way, what was that? What's the isle in just past Dustwallow Marsh? Theramore Isle. Hey, how did that work out? I sincerely appreciate. I'm having fun with commentary in this episode. That's a good thing. Look at these night elves, dude. Get out of here. Y'all are too weak. Get out of here. Which kind of depresses me, because coming and having played night elves and seeing the strength of them, and I really appreciate the Teldrassil and everything. Oh my gosh. But seeing them here is just like, come on, just get out of here. What are you guys doing here? What are you guys even doing here? Like, come on. But I sincerely appreciate everybody. I've already, repeating myself here, but these dudes are cool as hell. The Void guys, how can you hate them? There needs to be a plush. There needs to be a plush version, and just like with these dudes, but like goober, like bigger eyes and everything, make them look all cute and everything. I would get one. I think the missus would even appreciate it. Maybe I'll get her a Murloc one of these days. I don't think she'd appreciate that, but definitely, like, these guys could be cute, I guess, if you made them that way. But regardless, I hope everybody's journeys in Azeroth right now are going just as well as mine is. Let's help this guy out. He's a fellow Blood Elf. Gotta help him. Regardless of whether you're journeying in Classic Anniversary, Era, Seasons of Discovery, Cataclysm Classic, soon to be MOP, or Retail, just wherever your journey is in Azeroth, I hope you're having just as much of a wonderful time as I am. And just in case if you ever want to stop by and say hi or whatnot, I have no problem dungeoning with other people, raid, whatever it is, or just venturing out into the world, rare monster hunting if people still do that. Blood Furnace, that's the server that I'm on. So please do stop by and say hi. Or heck, everything's cross server now, right? So you can just queue up anyway. You can do dungeoning or time walking or whatever the case may be. A lot to do here. Oh, what happened? What happened? What the world? Wait a minute. Was I not paying attention? That's probably the reason I usually don't. I mean, that's usually what gets me in trouble the most. Is not paying attention, but what happened there specifically? Like, was I just that weak, in that much of a weakened state? Was there a status effect on me and I just wasn't paying attention? It probably was the case, but damn, this is a big walk too. I mean, I know Blood Elves have a vast leveling region, but my goodness, that's a pretty good distance. That's a nice punishment right there. All right, y'all. First death of the playlist. Let's keep a counter. That's the first. How many are we gonna go? How many is it gonna escalate from here? To place your bets now, because oh lord. Bismillah, though, we made it back. Not the biggest thing, not the biggest deal in the world, but still, I'm very curious as to what happened there. But it's payback time.
The eternal sun guides us. Remember the sun well. Hold your head high.
Victory lies ahead.
Fish heads, fish heads. Seashells, bow down by. Gosh, I cannot do that. That's one thing even as a kid I was never able to do. Seashells by the seashore. Okay, I did it now, but saying it fast, forget it. It's always murlocs too. How can this place be called Tranquil Shore if it's not tranquil at all? This is stressful. Anytime I see murlocs, man, I get stressed. Maybe it's because of how many times they whoop my ass in Tirisfal Glades. Like these things, man. It's just that sound of every time you hear it, you're just like, oh man. There was a funny story. I think I was in Classic Annie and I forgot what I was doing. I was on the Forsaken side. What is going on there? Why are they running? Get over here, dude. Why are you running? Why were they in feared? In feared of what? There's like, this gonna say 10 million of them. That's not the case. There's at least 8 or 9 of them. I mean, this is kind of like their little seashore village. Why were they in feared? Or is that just something that murlocs do? But yeah, I think I was doing a quest on the Forsaken in Classic Annie. And I swore I had pretty much taken care of every murloc in the area. But I must have like really mistimed their respawns. And I was just about to, I was really down, too far down on the beach. And then I did a 180 and started working my way back. And then I got ambushed by like 3 of them. Was not a pleasant experience. They've done that many a times. I guess in a way, this is me getting back at them, though. I mean, there's murlocs in Westfall. There's murlocs anywhere that I guess I should say anywhere there's a beach, expect murlocs. But pretty sure in the Night Elves leveling area, way outside of Teldrassil, we're going like towards Blackfathom Deeps, where that, you know, going towards, I can't remember that area's name. I think it started with an A. Anyways, that area. Because well, for them specifically, I don't think there was a lot of murlocs. I think at that point it just became the hydras, the hydra looking people. The dang man, Memoridons, I think is what they're called. That's definitely one thing I would love to see more, is like if Night Elves had a lot more areas. Like for any of you that play Final Fantasy XI, you'll know what I'm talking about. Remember the Arapago Reef? Oh, dude, the Arapago Reef, such a wonderful area, but everything would be able to, like, everything wanted you dead. And I wish Night Elves had something like that. Heck, I wish Blood Elves had something like that. But level 9, Bismillah, climbing up the chain. Hand of Reckoning. Okay, I'm gonna have to really read into the abilities still. I don't know why I'm taunting. I guess I'm just kind of I'm trying to start getting used to having to click that, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do that. Oh, the Blood Elf buddy is back. There you go, dude. You go, mage. But yeah, starting to try to make use of hit taunt a little bit more, or at least just start getting used to that. Because the pacing of dungeons in comparison to what it used to be definitely is 2 very different paces. And that's something I'm gonna have to get used to. Definitely something I'm gonna have to get used to. But we are in the, I mean, we're in the outskirts of the bazaar. Outskirts of Silvermoon. That'd be like Dawahi al-Bazaar, I think, is how it would translate into. Basically what I said was the outskirts of the bazaar. Saying like the outskirts of Silvermoon. But the outskirt areas of Eversong Wood are phenomenal. Truly one of the best leveling zones you can... I can't climb up that hill. Truly one of the best leveling zones, period, for any race. I think this would just be S tier, in my humble opinion. Look at that sword, dude. Holy crow. Where'd you get that, my friend?
Death to all who oppose us. Remember the Sunwell.
The ring. I don't know how we would say. How would you say that quest, y'all? The ring of. That's what it's. That's what it reads to. Tranquil Shore. Yeah, all right. It's tranquil. All right. I do have to ask, how do y'all like the little character animations at the beginning of each video and at the end of each video? So, a little fun fact, for the Warrior series, each one is specific to the series. So, this one is going to, the intro utilized here in the Blood Elf series is also going to be utilized for the Night Elf when I decide to bring Amaria back, which is relatively soon, kind of depends. There he is, the big boy himself. All right, brother of Oklahoma, you talked about hunting crocodiles, or talked about that story about the crocodiles. Oh my goodness, gators. You talked about the gator story. Here's one for you. Florida's got nothing on these things, that's for sure. Was it Florida or Louisiana? Louisiana. That's a state I have not been to yet. I definitely would like to go. Something about the different parishes would be awesome. But yeah, going back to what I was saying. So the character animation used in this series is also going to be used for the Night Elf, respectively, because I decided to implement both characters this time around. In the Warrior series, the intro is Malakiel when she was a human, and Malakiel as she is a Forsaken. And there's a lot of lore behind there. I don't know if y'all play D&D or just anything else. I'm sure y'all do, or at least some of y'all. But I think it's fun to make stories behind your characters. Just a little stuff, little fantasies and whatnot. I also write manga in my spare time, or I'm working on one right now that's been in progress for like 3 years, coming up on 4. And we're almost done with it. But it was definitely heavily inspired by quite a few things. My life as a first responder and the stuff that I've seen, and different types of stuff that you unfortunately deal and unfortunately deal with as a first responder. But also very heavily inspired by Spawn and Todd McFarlane, because I'm a huge fan of Spawn and Todd McFarlane's work, and I'm also a very, very huge fan of survival horror and just like Resident Evil and all that. Huge fan, so I love to just implement that stuff. I guess some of my favorite bands would be like 9 Inch Nails or Fall of Troy. I mean, I've listened to everything. Whatchamacallit, My Chemical Romance, pretty much everything. I mean, I can listen to anything. Doesn't matter the genre, but some of my favorites. So that's another little thing I do in my spare time outside of fatherhood and first response. But yeah, so each video series, each character leveling series is going to have its own character. So expecting different animation every time, which I think is fun and kind of just gives y'all something else to look at. And it's creative. It's just another way of creative outletting for me. Speaking of outletting over there, or not outletting, but a little bit of a barrier break over there in the distance. Look at that. It's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and take the shield. I think the shield is going to be better off for me, as I'm planning on going, we're planning on going prot the whole way, which may or may not make leveling look not appealing, because it's prot paladin. Like, there's only so many ways I can make this appealing, but I've got all you got to learn one way or the other, and this is just one of my ways of doing it. That dude was way up there. He almost looked like he was climbing the tree. It's cool. So yeah, there's a lot about that's another thing. There's like a lot about creators in the World of Warcraft community that I think if you really knew their stories and just like how they started or how they got involved, I think there's a lot of stories yet to be told, or yet to be You have to be told from their perspective. Getting to know the person behind the screen is also pretty nice, in my opinion, without being too intrusive. Captain, it's been a long time. I remember this gal. It's been, gosh, 14 years. I'm aging myself a little bit here, but it's been a while. She's gonna have us go get the supplies, raid the boat, jump in the tower, jump off the tower. I don't know. We're gonna be here for a little bit.
The reckoning is at hand.
What business have you? Keep your wits about you.
I need to get closer.
I totally remember this area now and the little fetch questing and everything. I say fetch questing, but it's more so just like it actually applies to the area. The Sunsail Anchorage. It does apply to the area, so I'm not complaining too much. The Ghostlands. Now, if memory serves me a little bit correctly, if it does serve me at all, I remember there's a lot to do in the Ghostlands because we're going to be there a hot minute. Like, probably more than I would be in, let's like a typical human is in Darkshire or an elf in Darkshore. I think the Ghostlands is gonna be fun, man. I haven't seen it in so long. Looking forward to it. I think there's a chain that you can do that. I think there's a small little pickup quest that you can do that'll take you directly to the Undercity, which we are going to do. The closer I can get to the motherland, the better. These things are weird. The little flying creatures, whatever they are, they're a little interesting. I'm glad they're not aggressive. That'd be one less. Thankfully, it's one less thing to have to worry about. Oh, Murlocs. You guys. Something about the fishmen. And in a sense, every time I see these things, I start thinking of Call of Cthulhu, The Dark Descent, and all those other different games. You know, like all those other games, like a lot of Let's Players, like the Gen 3 guys, when like the 2010s, there was like this massive influx of interest in indie developed games, or not, and it wasn't indie developed, but in games that would provoke a response. Five Nights at Freddy's and everything else. We transition into the reactionary content. I am really starting to show my age a little bit. Don't worry, y'all. I'm in my 30s. Nothing crazy. But you know, it's just cool to see all that type of stuff. It's cool to see like WoW creators from back in the day and how did they do it? Because I really like when I watch content specifically for WoW, I watch it beginning to end because I want to see what the history was. Like if I go to Robert Rambles and watch how he does leveling on characters, I'll go back to his oldest video on his channel and watch those as well, just to kind of see like the progression of the person and the style, the evolution of the style. Like Brother of Oklahoma, I'm sure could agree with that. I'm sure many of you can agree with that. This dude is back. Oh goodness. All right, dude, get out of here. We've already been through this dance once. Do we have to do it again?
Heroes of the Horde, the Dragon Isles have awakened and beckon the Dragon Flights home. Meet me in Orgrimmar, where I am about to present the Aspect's invitation to the Horde Council.
Anu Belore Delana, the reckoning is at hand. Keep your wits about you.
Glory to the Sindori. Farewell. The reckoning is at hand. Keep your wits about you.
You know, I thought for 2 seconds I was done. I was gonna be done in this area, and then I was like, ah, gosh darn it. Gosh darn it, not quite. But, and forgive me, my translation is probably gonna be a little bit off again. 'Cause how would I say it? Alakit Rayab min Madinait Akamar Al-Gifiri. What I'm trying to say there is we're closing in on Silver Moon City in a very, very rough translation. Again, forgive me, y'all. My Arabic isn't as good as some military guys I know. I wish I was as good as them. Trying to go back to my university days a little bit, but we're closing in on Silver Moon City. I can't wait to see it. It's just been so long. We get to see the different colors and different. These guys are beating my ass. Goodness. Can't wait to see Silver Moon. The bazaar, the chocobos, getting a chocobo. Just seeing everything, the Sunwell. There was an area where the lesser fortunate lived in that city. I think it was, I can't remember what it was called, but there's that area which I think leads into like where the prince and everything lives too. It's quite ironic. As what other empires hasn't done that in the past, you know what I mean? But also my apologies if on occasions I do speak a little bit of Arabic. I can try to speak other languages as well. I just really would be rough on translation. I'm not trying to make a fool of myself by any means, but I'm trying to diversify a little bit and make the playthroughs just a little bit more interesting, because there's some things I can correlate and I can translate and say, and they would come out hopefully decent. Plus, I think it's cool. It's cool to speak other languages and learn. I think when I bring Amaria back, I'll try to speak some Filipino Tagalog in honor of my friend, who really inspired the character, and one of my bros that from way back in the day that inspired the character to begin with. And then my brother-in-law that hopefully I get to see, I get to play with in some dungeons on all my characters and such, because he's, you know, for as many times as he sits there and tells me, wow, it's not his favorite game, be it he knows the game like the back of his hand ever since he started playing, and he's a primary Horde main. So maybe showing off, so that's actually a good idea, showing off some raids and such, because again, he just knows the freaking game. It's amazing what he knows about this game. But he's a good old Irishman, well, Irish American. So it's funny seeing us both together, because like he'll do some casual drinking, he'll do some like really respectful casual drinking, and I'll just be like, yeah, I can't. I don't do that. But we're too, oh my goodness, I've known him for so long. But we're coming up on the end of this episode. I'm actually gonna let the rest of this video and its own audio play out. Thank y'all so much for joining me on this journey. If y'all did enjoy it and you thought I've earned it, go ahead and toss the video a like, maybe subscribe to the channel if you feel like I've earned it. Because it's all about improving and it's all about learning, and I really want to respectfully earn
Our enemies will fall.
every single view and every single constructive criticism and feedback, because I think that's just the best way to do it. But we finished up the camp. Looks like in the next episode we might hit, the Dead Scar. Ooh boy, that sounds like fun. We might actually get into Silver Moon. We might. I think we're going to, because there's some questing on the south end which is going to take us further, closer to the Ghostlands. So let's do that. Let's make the plan. Let's make a promise to get to Silver Moon City. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all soon. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.